what are you doing over here fornicating? What are you doing? What are you doing over here? Ain't no more women with the big hats. Remember them women with the big hats? They would go through and say, "What you get up off that woman? What are you looking at?" They'll tell that girl, "Put some more clothes on." This and that. There's no more of that. What's up, y'all? This is the Coach Prenny Podcast, and today we're going to talk about a very important topic. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. By the way, you know how that go. And we're going to talk about a very important topic, and that is what would bring men back to the church. Guys, if you look at churches now, and I'm sure you see it, it's a ton of corruption. It's you got mega churches, you got the Joel Osteens, pretty much any preacher that's making millions off of telling the word. At that point, it's capitalism, all right, at its finest. And what we have is, especially something, I don't even know if I could talk about that, but the jab, churches bent the knee over that. They were shutting churches down because the government told them to. So if you look at it, man, that a lot of the modern churches is more so about money than teaching the word. Now, I touch on that for a second, but ultimately what I want to talk about today is what will it take to get the alpha male, right? The real man to come back to the church, because a lot of times what you see in churches now, a bunch of single moms, a bunch of beta males, just a bunch of soy boy type guys, the fire and brimstone men, the fire and brimstone preachers are back in the day. They usually are not there. Now, some are, but we're talking about the overall scope of churches. I mean, there are even some, homosexual preachers out there. All right, so we just being honest, right? That is a thing now. So is there even reversing this, or like what could bring real men back is a big question I've been asked. And to answer that question, I don't think they need to go back, right? I think at this point, the way everything in the world is, about making money, about propaganda, about which side of the political line you are, I think church is just a casualty of that. I mean, I think if you go to church right now and you are a strong-willed conservative man, they will vilify you, right? If you're strong-willed and you actually go by the book of what's in the Bible, and you're like, certain things are wrong, right? This lifestyle is wrong, that lifestyle is wrong. If you go in there with that mindset, I feel like they'll strike you down. I honestly feel like you'll be more godly outside the church as a conservative man, especially if you're a white male, and for black males as well, because they're not going to let you go in there talking like in the 90s. They're not going to let you go there and be like, "Hey, you need to be married. You need to be married. Where's your husband? Where's that kid's daddy? What are you doing over here fornicating? What are you doing? What are you doing over here? Ain't no more women with the big hats." Remember them women with the big hats? They would go through and say, "What you get up off that woman? What are you looking at?" They'll tell that girl, "Put some more clothes on." This and that. There's no more of that. You know what I'm saying? So I don't see the purpose. Essentially, I don't see how we can put the toothpaste back in the toothpaste tube when it comes to religion. Most of the world right now is definitely of the devil per se. Even in societies that's supposed to be godly, usually the leaders are of the devil. When you look at, anything, college, sports in college, all that is just corruption. It's people at the top making a ton of money, and everybody else is pretty much following something that isn't real. They're chasing everybody wants to belong to a group of people that are like-minded, but the people that are running these groups are usually in it for themselves and usually in it for money. So what I would say, You men who are looking for a spiritual way out, are looking for a place to rejoice in religion. And and I don't know how it is in other religions. I don't know about Islam. I don't know what it is. Y'all might have it different, but Christianity is definitely saturated with the LGBT talking points. A lot of the democratic, um, just put it like this: a lot of these churches have bent the knee. All right, the big topics, gay marriage, abortion, all that. A lot of these churches have bent the knee to those talking points. Okay, single momhood. A lot of these churches have said, you know what, you can have 7 different kids by 7 different baby daddies, and we don't care. It's just, we're not even going to say anything. We're not going to ask. You can go out and fornicate with whoever you want, do whatever you want. You come here, we're gonna feed you fried chicken. We're gonna feed you mac and cheese, and we're gonna have a party. Okay, that's just what it's like. I remember back in the day, man, I used to go to churches. The preacher, look, if he found out you were doing something that week that was wrong, he would call you out. Sister Janice, I said, don't be out there dealing with Tyrone. Back in the day, they would do it, man. They would call you out. I don't see that anymore. So thanks for that question from the subscriber, man. I don't think church is coming back from the modern day way of church. Now, these little churches are different. You'll see some little churches that are 100% still following the traditional values, but they're few and far between, man. These mega churches, these bigger churches, they're out there for profit. Ultimately, there is no more judgment in the church, and I don't see that coming back. I'll say, for example, I've seen in churches, people raise money for somebody to for them to help somebody who gets out of jail more than I see them raise money for someone who's going to college. You see what I'm saying? I see people raise money more for Tyrone coming home. Let's do a homecoming, pass the pot around. Then I see people raise money for little Timmy, who is trying to go to college and make something out of himself. So it's kind of like churches are just they're bending the knee to those type of people. I would say the modern church has become very corrupt. So if you go in there to find a wife, you gonna go there and you're going to find a woman with 6 kids, and church members are going to be trying to push you on her and saying, oh, Sister Janice is a good woman. Yeah, man, you can step up, man, and raise them kids. Step up and help the Black community and take all her kids, man. Nah, if I was you, I wouldn't do it. So it just is what it is, man. You going to church to find a wife ain't the move. You're going to find a bunch of, I would say, a lot of bigger women, a lot of women with already that have children. There's no place to really find a good woman anymore, man. You just got to get lucky and find that unicorn. But I appreciate the question, man. And yeah, like I say, man, the modern church is definitely political. The government definitely has them by the proverbial balls, I guess I would say. Especially we learned that through the jab. They said, hey, shut your churches down, and they all shut down. Imagine that happening back in the 90s. Imagine the government telling churches back in the 90s and the 80s to shut down because there's a sickness going around. The churches would be like, God will heal the sickness. What are you talking about? We're not shutting these churches down. So as we can see, man, it's a lot more political than faith-based. Now, I'm not saying this for better or for worse with that situation, but that did happen. The government did tell them to shut down. So the government does have power over their faith. And that's not why y'all go to church. Y'all go to church, you find something, a higher power that should take precedence over anything. So I'm just saying, guys, be careful, and we're going to get up out of here. But yeah, that's my outlook on churches. So thanks for the question subscriber said, how do we get real men back in the modern church? That's that. So anyway, this is the Coach Prunty podcast, and I'm out. Peace.